Using gerrymandering, voter suppression, and other nefarious tactics, the Republican Party has manipulated our electoral system to maintain as much control as possible despite being a party in the minority. Liberal Dan Radio seeks to change that, and I need your help in doing so. Liberal Dan Radio has partnered with Levelfield to help us use tools that are typically only available to big money donors. When you go to stopthecoup.liberaldan.com and make your contribution, it will encourage other voters to reach out to their legislators to pass legislation to stop gerrymandering and voter suppression, and target elected officials who refuse to protect the vote. Every eligible voter should be able to cast a ballot, and that ballot should have the same power as everyone else. I can't do this alone. I need your help. So please go to stopthecoup.liberaldan.com and make your contribution today. That's stopthecoup.liberaldan.com. stopthecoup.liberaldan.com. Political advertising paid for by Levelfield. Contributions are not tax deductible as charitable contributions.
Welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you from New Orleans, Louisiana. To join the conversation, it's area code 914-803-4131. That is 914-803-4131. If you're also listening during the live broadcast, you can join us in the chat room at blogtalkradio.com/liberaldan. Go to the episode page, log in with your free account, and you can join us in chat there. Or you can go to youtube.com/liberaldanradio or youtube.liberaldan.com. Either way will get you there, and you can click on the live stream that's currently running and join us in the live chat there as well. If you're listening after the live broadcast, you can leave comments at liberaldan.com, facebook.com/liberaldan, at liberaldanradio on Twitter, and also go to the YouTube page again, youtube.com/liberaldanradio or youtube.liberaldan.com, and that will bring you, and you could find the episode page for this one, which is the taxes episode, and you can leave your comments in the comment thread there. So this week, we're going to be doing a bunch of conversation, just talking and ranting about taxes. This is tax week, apparently since April 15th is Good Fridays, I'm Jewish, so I don't really celebrate Good Friday, but since April 15th is Good Friday, we go ahead and, a lot of people have off that day, and because of that, I think that's why the taxes, don't quote me on 100% sure, but as far as I know, according to my calendar at least, April 18th is the day that your taxes need to be filed by. I went ahead and filed mine today, but because doing it early, I had to go to the post office today, so I had to go to the post office today to mail something in because H&R Block sucks.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. No plans. This has been, again, another quick week. Week went by super fast, where, I didn't really have too much time to look up to create a lot of the stuff that I would like to create for the shows, like Hypocrite of the Week or Words of Redneck Wisdom. Those have not been generated, but I do have 2 audio clips to play, and it's, if you remember last week, we played some clips from Cash Money, a caller to a local radio show down here, even though he's from the Buckeye State, the state of Ohio. Just to remind you a little bit of how Cash Money sounded last week.
Yeah.
Every single question that you have, let's set up a device to actually be asked just to ask the people. Every single one of these questions will be asked by us, the people. Do we want to let 16-year-olds who are allowed to drive a 4,000-pound car to vote? I agree. I say yes. Let their minds in. But do we start education with those young minds at 12? Serious, focused education on what's going on in our
Education.
country and how we really feel and think. We, the people, run this. We run this. So every rule you want to make, we need to discuss it. Right now, good ideas, like the one I'm speaking, can't even be heard unless you own a news outlet and got money running out your butt. I don't know what to say about this country, but money is not what we were born for.
Money is not what. Yeah, he loves capitalism, but money is not what we're for.
That I still have to see Hillary Clinton on the
Is this
tube
the
booth every
Zuckerberg
day.
one?
Why? Why is Fauci still in a position? Why haven't we simply fired him and replaced him with somebody else that we all can believe in? Maybe. We need to do things, and it's never, ever going to happen. You go through your elections, this next election ain't going to matter because Dominion, it still exists. And if Dominion's here in November, it's shot. It's stuck. And this army that is coming across our border that we Americans...
Anyway, that's how he sounded when I played his clips last time. So I called in to Jeff, and I gave Jeff a shortened version of that. There's a snippet ahead of time where one of Jeff's callers ended up talking, spreading Putin propaganda that it wasn't Russia that bombed the train station, like doing Putin's work for him, but... like you'd expect. But so I called into Jeff on Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, one of the two.
Jeff, good morning, Don. I'm sorry I don't have a eloquent set of pros to give to you this week, but three quick things. Matthew Menery, you earlier used your show to spread Putin's propaganda that the missiles that hit the train station in eastern Ukraine were not Russian, but I guess he's following in the footsteps of Trump being a Russian stooge. Cash Money on the other day was ranting on your show the other day. I emailed you about that. But he was basically advocating for socialism. He complained that because the wealthy media folks won't allow him to be heard, that government should seize Facebook and use it for voting. He also cursed on your show, which is a shame that a lot of conservatives I've found have cursed on your show. I've heard it, and it's really a shame that they don't respect you enough to filter themselves when it comes to their language.
Yeah, so that's basically what I called in and saying, because, if I'm calling into a radio show, and especially one that's being broadcast over the terrestrial airwaves, the standard radio, what covered by the FCC, says you can't say certain words on the show or on the air, or else you're going to get in trouble. And while Jeff later on says he tries to get them dumped, I've never heard them dumped. I've heard them said way over the air, just bright as day, clear as day. I know you can curse on my show. I mean, I try not to still. I don't think there's a need to over accentuate what we do with cursing. And there's a reason I'm saying that too, because good old Cash Money heard me, and I got under his thin skin, and so it's a 3-minute clip. So I'm gonna let the clip play, and then I'll address the clip's points. But I figured, this is tax day. Taxes, conversation of taxes. Taxing is money. You're either giving what you're giving to the government, your cash money. So why not talk about the caller Cash Money and what he do? So we're gonna listen to Cash Money for a second, and then we'll see what I respond to him. And some things are really interesting, and I even missed one of the things that he said when I listened to it live. So, because if I hadn't listened to it live, I would have known that he wouldn't have responded to me. But lo and behold, he did, and this is what he do.
And, he was mentioned earlier on the program. Let's bring on our friend from the Buckeye State. Cash Money is with us. Hey, Cash, how are you? Good morning. Welcome.
I'm okay, Jeff. How are you this morning?
Doing great, sir. TTIF to you.
Let's talk about that liberal dip. That ain't a cuss word, is it? No. We don't say dookie. We say dip, I guess. As far as the cuss word he said, I was referring to butt. I think the first word was dumb. And I excused myself as soon as I did it. But I don't think asinine is a cuss word. It's the tactics of the wrong side of the subjects that complain about a cuss word to stop the progression of the conversation. There's agencies that use it. You know, you can't get any benefits at some agencies in our government if you cuss whatsoever. They have the right just to cut it off right there, and it doesn't matter what the word is and who gets to say what the cuss words are. Cuss words accentuate attitude. Cuss words are not permitted in our society because of respect towards religion. Not a government and issued type of thing. It's religion. And look what Catholic Charity's doing to this country right now. Religion. It's all a farce. I'm not asking for socialism. I'm asking for what actually was written. The first three words, we the people. What's the intentions of we the people? It's not socialism. It's what we want for our nation as a given voice, all of us together as one. We the people. That's what I want. We, the people, will stop all the manipulations. We, the people, will allow cuss words to accentuate the situation. We, the people, have not made any decisions whatsoever. We just elect a couple of goofballs that are up for election. We have no choice of who they really are sometimes unless you get right down into the weeds of the rules of the game, and that's what we're doing right now with PC and trying to put people into agencies where voices can actually be heard. But Americans don't focus on how the process works. They just want to be free. The intention of we the people is what we want, not socialism. Socialism to me is total control. Like, this is what you get, like it or lump it. That's the way it is. That's not what I'm asking for. We the people have the power to direct this country. So we the people should actually be asked every morning at 9 a.m. What do you think about this subject? What do you think we get as a turnout in a vote if I said we want to shut liberal dip up? I'd say 200 million if it was put to a national vote. You are part of the problem, Mr. Liberal man. You are part of the problem to tear us down from the inside out, to separate us, and we're not going to allow it. And if I get my way, I just want to ask all the people what they actually think of what I'm saying. And then when they come back, will you shut up? All right. Thanks, Liberal Dan, for firing me up today.
Cash money.
So there you go. There you have it, cash money. So let's see what he talked about. Liberal dip. A dip, apparently, in his definition, equals crap. I'd never heard that before. Maybe that is colloquialism in his part of the country. Maybe Ohio refers to dip as crap. Maybe that's why chewing tobacco is called dip, because it looks like crap. I don't know. But he claims he was trying to say dumbass. He wasn't saying dumbass. He said Bravo Sierra. BS, if you will. That's the word that he said over the airwaves of WGSO AM, which puts the host, Jeff Crouere, in jeopardy if cursing goes out over his airwaves. And I didn't complain. I didn't worry about the curse word. It didn't hurt my dainty ears to hear him saying naughty language. I mean, I've said worse, most definitely. But I was basically pointing out the lack of respect towards the host, the fact that you don't have the common decency to watch your language, to give respect to the person who's allowing to put you on the air. I don't care what I agree with Jeff a little bit, very little bit. Like, we agree on one bill, like that's the cell phone while driving bill. We agree on that. There may be other things that we could find that we agree on, but the most majority of things we disagree on. But even though I disagree with him, I'm going to have the courtesy to not use expletives on his show, because I don't want to put him in danger, because it's rude. So he and the other conservatives that have no problem cursing on his show a lack of integrity when it comes to their opinions. And he claims to not ask for socialism. He claims that what he wants is just what we the people want. What we want. I guess e pluribus unum, out of many one. We the people elect people in a representative republic to vote for the things like national policies and stuff like that. We don't get we're not a direct democracy. What he's asking for is extra constitutional. He complains about that we have our choices are limited. Our choices are limited because of gerrymandering. StopTheCout.LiberalDan.com if you want to, help me fight gerrymandering and other voter suppression tactics. Then he goes, one of the things, socialism to him, is total control. No, authoritarianism is total control. That's not socialism. Socialism is a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. He's advocating for socialism. Not only is he saying that everything should be regulated by the people because the people should vote on the regulations directly, he's also saying that Facebook should be seized and Zuckerberg jailed and put on death row because he doesn't like him. That's more that part's not socialism. That part's authoritarianism. So he's not just a socialist, he's an authoritarian. He just does it. He's just too stupid to understand what these words are. But many conservatives will throw out the word socialism having no clue what on earth it means. And then they'll complain like, well, we're giving away vaccines for free. Why can't we get other things like EpiPens and blanking on the drug for free, for diabetes, insulin for free. Yes, we want that too. But apparently you want it, but are not afraid to call it what it is, which is socialism. But here's the thing that I missed the first time he was on. Here's the thing that I admit is he would say he would want to have put to a vote of the people at 9 a.m. in the morning about whether or not Liberal Dan should be shut up. And he believes that 20 million people would vote to shut Liberal Dan up. Does that mean that after the vote passes that Liberal Dan would be shut up? It doesn't seem to me that he's advocating for just a committee that would make recommendations, and where the people say, we want Liberal Dan to shut up, and then nothing happens. No, it seems to me that he wants, you put things up to a vote, and then once the people vote for it, then it becomes law, which is not how our government works. But he would vote to shut me up. He would strip me of my First Amendment rights. But yet I'm part of the problem. He would strip me of my rights, but I'm part of the problem. So I'm going to continue to use my show to advocate for the things that I want to advocate for. I will continue to call into radio shows to advocate for the things I want to advocate on, and I'll continue to criticize the people who I want to criticize. Again, why? Because I want to advocate for the things because it's my First Amendment right to do so. And unlike Cash Money, I won't whine about it when networks won't give me time, when networks won't show me, allow me to be heard. You know what? It's my responsibility, if I want to be heard, to get heard. It's my responsibility to put content out there that's interesting and different and fun and exciting, with fun and exciting guests. Like, hopefully we'll get Hal Sparks back on this month. Maybe if not this month, next month. I don't know. The day that he wants to come on, or his agent told me that he could come on, is the day that I'm not going to be able to be on the radio because I have concert tickets, unless the concert gets moved again. But anyway, so that was all the talk about Cash Money, if you will. Let's go ahead and take our first commercial break, if I can get my mouse to work. There we go. That's nice. We'll take our first commercial break, come back, take your calls as well. Talking about taxes, 914-803-4131, 914-803-4131. This is Liberal Dan Radio, talking to the left. That's right.
Are you planning a trip to Disney soon? Do you want help avoiding spending mistakes and making the most of your vacation? Then check out Budgeteers.com. a new site devoted to helping you get the most mouse for your money. What kinds of tickets should you get? Is the dining plan a good deal for you? Should you stay on grounds or not? Should you buy park hoppers? Many other sites are filled with information about what other people like to do, but Budgeteers is geared to help you make the best decision for you. So check out Budgeteers.com or go to YouTube.com/Budgeteers and help make your trip the best it can be. Budgeteers.com is not a travel agency and it is not affiliated with the Disney Corporation or any of its holdings. In a world gone mad, one progressive will do a bad movie trailer guy impression to get you to listen to his show. There's only one thing that I like better than the Liberal Dan Radio Minicast. Alright, Bill, that's enough of that. On the Liberal Dan Radio Minicast, you will hear an honest discussion of the day's issues, with some personal bits in between. You might even hear what the other side has to say, sometimes even in their own voices. So become one of the Liberal Dan family, because family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. To hear those bad impressions and more, tune into the Liberal Dan Radio Minicast. Talk from the left, that's right. And I think to myself, what a wonderful show. Yeah. If you enjoy Liberal Dan Radio, there's many ways that you can support the show. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can like me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter or TikTok. And you can become a Liberal Dan Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you can get a shout out. Higher levels get the opportunity to vote on what I do next on the podcast, the Minicast, or on YouTube. You can even buy commercial advertising or sponsor bits. So go to patreon.liberaldan.com and support the show today.
Hey there, podcast listeners. This is Deminox, host of The World According to Knox. It's time for Season 2, where I take you on another trip through my world. The world of movies, video games, pop culture, and more. Relate them to the world around you. Don't forget to leave a question for Marscat, and find me on Twitter by the handle XDeminox. That's the letter X like X-Men, DEMINOX. Now enjoy the rest of your podcast.
And welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you from New Orleans, Louisiana. To join the conversation, it's area code 914-803-4131, or join us in the chat rooms at blogtalkradio.com/liberaldan or on youtube.com/liberaldanradio. Shout out again to Deminox, the first Liberal Dan Radio patron, as well as Cesar in California, your boy Chris here in New Orleans, and also to Angie across the pond. For supporting Liberal Dan Radio. Again, you too can support Liberal Dan Radio by going to patreon.liberaldan.com or patreon.com/liberaldan, and you can make contributions as low as $3 a month, buy commercial advertising, sponsor bits, etc., etc. Support the show today. If you can't afford to spend money, and understand if you can't, inflation's high or whatever, but you can go ahead and just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow me on all the places that I am on social media. And that's the best way to get this show out there and exposed to people. Because if the more you interact with my videos, the more people subscribe to the channel, the more popular I become, the more likely I will be to come up in people's searches and everything. So that's one of the best ways to support me, especially. But if you are subscribing to on our Liberal Dan Radio Patreon, I also suggest that you also subscribe to all the places on social media, because that's just going to give your contribution more bang for its buck, as it helps me spread videos that you might like from me as well. You know, that'd be awesome too. I would appreciate it. So we're going to start off our conversation about taxes. I don't know if I'm going to get a commercial ahead of this or not. I am getting a commercial ahead of this, so we're going to let this commercial play out. Then we're gonna just let this start. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, you won't hear this. Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me. I don't know if I have lyrics in this. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. 5% appear too small. Be thankful I don't take it all. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, the tax man. If you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet. Tax man. Anyway, so that's a little bit of karaoke from me. Yeah, if you're on Blog Talk Radio, you did not hear that. You did not hear at least the music behind it. I tried to find a karaoke version that didn't have the lyrics behind it. Unfortunately, I failed in that because that was just a spur-of-the-moment thing where I was going to just throw that in there. Hopefully, I don't get too much of a YouTube flag. It'll probably just say, "Hey, any money coming from this video is going to go to the people who, whose copyright that belongs to." And I'm like, I don't make money anyway right now on YouTube because I don't have enough subscribers. So, it is what it is. So, a little bit of karaoke for me on Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Anywho, so let's talk about taxes. I'm going to start my conversation about taxes, I guess, with a gripe. In that, if you, maybe my personal account, I think I've talked about this on Twitter, but not necessarily my Liberal Dan Radio on Twitter account. And I've also talked about this on my personal page on Facebook. But talk about it here now because now it's all over with. I'm done with it. So during the pandemic in 2020, there was the opportunity for individuals to take money out of their 401k without penalty, without the extra penalty, I should say, spread out the withdrawal over 3 years. So if you took out $21,000 out of your 401k, it would be $7,000 for the year of 2020 on the 2020 taxes. It would be $7,000 for the 2021 for those taxes and $7,000 for 2022. You could split it up, and then you have the opportunity at some point to pay it back. And once you pay it back, guess what? You can recoup the tax money that you spent. Fine, right? It's good. It's good that you have that option to do so. And last year, when I filed with H&R Block, they enabled you to do so. They included in the regular price of their tax programs was the option to be able to do that, to be able to submit the information with your taxes so that you can have the tax. So now what happened is that they didn't have it electronically working yet. So they basically said, if you take this option, you have to mail your taxes in. You can't do an e-file. Fine, I don't care. It's fine. I'm not worried about that. As long as I can file my taxes, fine. So I do all my taxes. I send it all in. And what happens? This year rolls around. So this year I start to go through all of the rigmarole of doing all my taxes, and I'm hunting down, and I find on H&R Block where you report the money for the 401k disbursement for COVID-related expenses or for hardships during COVID. And as soon as I hit it, it goes, hey, other sites don't cover this for free either. So what we're going to do is we're going to make you, if you want to have this in your taxes, we're going to make you speak to a tax professional for $90. So to me, that's already very bait and switchy. Like you baited me in to do my taxes on hnrblock.com you baited me in, and I did my first year of reporting for this information. Then the second year comes along and you say, no, we're not going to do this for free anymore. You need to speak to one of our tax professionals. Tax professional is going to cost you an extra $90 for one form. I think it's the 8915F, I believe is the correct name of the form. It's not in front of me right now, but I believe it's the 8915F form that needs to be added to your taxes. And then you take dollar amount from the 8915F and you put it in line 5A of the 1040 and you adjust accordingly. I literally had to put in 7 pieces of information. It took me a half hour to read the instructions, to put the information on that form, and then to redo my 1040 form to have that new information, and then look up the correct tax on the tax table that I owe, which then, basically meant I was getting a little bit less back than I anticipated. Why? Because I had more income because it was more income that I included on my taxes. So of course I'm going to pay less in taxes.
It is what it is.
I'm sorry, I'm going to pay more in taxes. I'm sorry, I messed that up.
It's called science.
Thank you, Donald, for the twofer. Paying more in taxes, so I'm getting less back in a refund because of that. And I've been withholding a little bit too much. That's fine, whatever. I didn't know how I was going to handle some capital gains that I had versus I don't know if they would have been offset by other losses that I had. Turns out I had capital losses again this year. Whatever. And you can only take so much every year, so looks like years to come I'll be taking some capital losses unless I do really well on any one of my new stocks or whatever. Get Amber Rose to come back on the show, and she's doing well for herself. I had an email conversation with her the other day, which is nice. It's good to hear back from her. Good friend of the show. Welcome back anytime. I think her new employment restricts what she can talk about online. So there's that. So yeah, it took me a half an hour to do that, to do what they wanted to charge me 90 minutes for. And initially I was going to do what I did, which is finish doing, because I had a whole bunch of other information on H&R Block already as it stands. And I wanted to, I figured, okay, well, if they won't do it for me for free like they did last year, I'll just download and print. I'll file again by mail like I did last year. And all I have to do is fill out this new form, the 8915F, make a new 1040 form that'll have the updated information in it, mail it in, done. And then I was like, I don't want to mess this up, so let me go ahead and I'll just pay the $90, whatever. I'll just eat it. I don't care. I have lots of stuff going on. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hate that I'm paying it. And then I go through the entire thing, and they're like, okay, since we're getting you ready to speak to your tax preparer, you need to upload all this information. And when I mean all this information, they wanted every single W-2 uploaded, every 1099 uploaded, and they wanted every 1099B uploaded, even though they were only 2 1099Bs that I got from Robinhood and Webull, or whatever it's called. There's only those 2 companies that sent me 1099Bs for the investment income or profits and losses. They wanted like 17. So there's no possible way I could do it. And I'm like, you're making me upload all of these documents that are unrelated to the reason why I need to fill out these forms, just so you can fill out these forms for me? No, screw you. I went back. I started redid the taxes again. I nixed it. I eliminated the part about the COVID disbursement. I put it back in. And then when it prompted me again, do you want to talk to a tax attorney or do you want to do it by yourself? I'm like, I'll do it by myself. Are you sure if you do it by yourself, you might have problems? No. I'll do it by myself. And it only took me a half an hour. It would have taken me longer to upload all of those damn documents. And that's what made me do it. Because I'm like, the amount of time it's going to take me to upload all these documents, I have to scan every one of them in and upload them up to your site, just so you can look at them, even though they have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, with the reason why you're making me pay the extra $90. So I went ahead and did it on my own, and I finished it up really quickly, and I was able to get it done. Huzzah! And got it done. But that's not the only complaint that I have about H&R Block. They're ridiculous. So I emailed them, and I said, look, or I messaged them on the thing. I'm like, look, you did this for free last year. Why aren't you doing it for free again this year? Oh, well, inflation is higher. You would expect that everything might be different. Like, wait, let me see if I can pull up the, where did I save that? Is that in my desktop or that downloads? It's not. Is it not there? It's not there. It might be in documents. Let's see. Boo. I should have had this ready. Let's see. No, it's not in documents. I don't think it's in Is it in downloads? No, I don't think so. Maybe that is. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So here you go. Here's a transcript from, so I want to speak to an agent. Hi there, thank you for, I was like, hi there, thank you for contacting H&R Block Product Support. My name is Danita. Please give me a moment to read the information you read already. What can I help you with today? Last year, I was able to fill out an 8915E on H&R Block's website because I took money out of my 401k with the ability to spread it out, tax implications, and or pay it back. This year, I'm not being given that option. I try and click on that option, but it says that I either have to pay $90 more for someone to review it, or I can try and finish it up on my own. When I try and finish it up on my own, it doesn't prompt me for any of the information. Danita, some forms have been updated this year, so that form is supported by Tax Pro Review. So I have to pay $90 in order to fill out one form, and all that one form does is add $7,210 to my income? Yes. That kind of sucks, especially because when I was able to do it for online for no additional costs, and I'm already paying you over $100 for your services. I understand. Is there anything else I can help you with? Apparently not. This makes me want me to just drop your service altogether. Had I known this is what was going to happen last year, I would not have had used y'all this year. I understand, and you enjoy the rest of your night. What? So that was the first interaction with H&R Block. We're just like, I understand. Have a good day. Like, no, not even any sympathy when it comes to my situation. Just, oh well, too bad, so sad, uh-oh. So then I bitch about him online, on Twitter, and I knew that this would cause them to have a let's see, that's 2021. So they said, I tweeted them out online, and they're like, please respond back. I'm like, I think it's ridiculous. The last year I didn't have to pay an extra to deal with my 401k COVID disbursement, and now you're making us pay for additional services. It feels like you're taking advantage of the people who had to take money out during the pandemic. And here comes Tamara. Hello, Daniel. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. The IRS created new forms to be used in tax preparation for the year 2021. Yes, H&R Block's fees might be more this year because of additional forms used. Inflation is making all purchases more expensive. What? It's one page, it's a single form, and it's the same form we used last year. It's not the same form we used last year. It was slightly different. I totally understand your frustration, believe me, but everything, gas, groceries, etc., has gone up. Just a sign of the times, don't you think? I was like, I don't mind if I pay a little more for the base form. I don't mind if I pay a little more to deal with my small business costs from last year. I do mind that you're adding a $90 charge to deal with one page, and you're doing it for people who had to take a COVID hardship withdrawal. No, I don't think paying $90 to add one page is a sign of the times. I think it's a sign of greeds. I'm sorry about this, Daniel. Thank you for your feedback. Have a nice day. And I said, inflation is 7%. Charge me 7% more than what I paid last year. I still can't believe how tone deaf your customer service has been. And then, furthermore, Tia, that's weird. I had Tamara before, I had Tia now. Hello, Daniel. Sorry for the, let's see. So H&R Block, hi, Daniel. I apologize for the inconvenience. Please send us a private message so we can better assist you. From Bree. Morgan Freeman voice. They did not better assist him. So, and then I've responded, so H&R Block wanted to charge me $90 more to simply fill out one extra tax form and add it to the calculations. It literally took me a half hour to fill out the form and change my 1040. It's a damn shame they want to take advantage of people with their bait and switch. Tia then responds, hello, Daniel. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please send us a DM so we can further assist you with this concern. Tia. I'm like, my taxes are filed. I think it's just crap that y'all were going to make me pay $90 to get a whole ass tax specialist just to fill in numbers in form 8915F and then enter the amount on 1040 line 5A. I had to file via mail this time, but $9 postage is better than $90 for one form. Oh, and when I rated H&R Block the lowest possible, they prompted me to tell them why I rated them the way I did, and I said, because your form wouldn't go any lower. Then I berated them for the greed and rude-ass customer service. Hashtag Twitter, hashtag taxes, hashtag tax time. So that was my problems with H&R Block. It's very well possible that because everything's together and all of my stuff is together, that I might just use them one last time next year if I deem that I have to, because, well, guess what? I still have to deal with the 401k crap, because I'll eventually pay the loan back. I wasn't gonna say how much the loan was, but it's somewhere in there. So now you know how much of a disbursement I took. But here's the thing: is that I won't use them after again. Once I'm done forced using them to make it more easily done for me. So if it's not going to be too much of a hassle on me to deal with it, at that point, I will dump H&R Block, because I'm sick of their crap. I mean, let's go ahead and take the last commercial break, come back, talk a little more about taxes and why some of this stuff I feel shouldn't even be a requirement. Some of this stuff shouldn't even be something that, all of this filing should be unnecessary. It's if you want to call in, it's 914-803-4131, 914-803-4131. This is Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
Greetings. This is Nimbus Yosh, host of the Percy Podcast. What is the Percy Podcast? Well, it's pretty much the smoothest talking host you'll ever hear in your life, talking about all kinds of things. Political things, nerdy things, fun things, not so fun things. Go ahead, give a listen, and follow at the Percy Podcast for more updates and information. Why not sit back and take a listen to one of the best podcasts you'll ever hear, and no one else will. Catch you on the tune.
Do you want to set money aside for a rainy day? Do you want to open an account that will give you a savings bonus each month? What if I told you that you can get both and have a chance to win $10 million? YADA is an FDIC-insured bank, and when you go to yada.liberaldan.com, open an account, and make your first deposit, you will get 100 entries into the next weekly drawing. You will also get entries each week you have a balance. So go to yada.liberaldan.com. That's YOTTA.liberaldan.com. Using gerrymandering, voter suppression, and other nefarious tactics, the Republican Party has manipulated our electoral system to maintain as much control as possible despite being a party in the minority. Liberal Dan Radio seeks to change that, and I need your help in doing so. Liberal Dan Radio has partnered with Levelfield to help us use tools that are typically only available to big money donors. When you go to stopthecoup.liberaldan.com and make your contribution, it will encourage other voters to reach out to their legislators to pass legislation to stop gerrymandering and voter suppression, and target elected officials who refuse to protect the vote. Every eligible voter should be able to cast a ballot, and that ballot should have the same power as everyone else. I can't do this alone. I need your help. So please go to stopthecoup.liberaldan.com and make your contribution today. That's stopthecoup.liberaldan.com. Stopthecoup.liberaldan.com. Political advertising paid for by Levelfield. Contributions are not tax deductible as charitable contributions.
And welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Again, this is your host, Dan Zimmerman from New Orleans, Louisiana. To join the conversation, it's 914-803-4131. We're talking about taxes today because it is tax time, and just ranting and raving a little bit. First about Cash Money, since that's partially related to taxes, because he wants to talk about how we should use our tax money to usurp, to steal Facebook away from its private ownership and use it and put Zucker, his other issues with me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I figured I just needed to tie that one off with a nice little bow. We'll see what happens. I really need to get him on the air, either here or just have a debate with him on Jeff's show. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And then we're talking about my issues with H&R Block and how terrible their customer service was. And, maybe other places are also being terrible about what's going on with this 401k distribution. But here's the thing. It's 2022. And I know this is cliche. It's 2022. We should be able to, why do we have to file taxes? When they give us, our W-2s, that information should go to the government. When 1099s are paid, that should go to the government. The government should be able to get everything. When government sends you information of what credits they gave you, that should go to the government. And most people should be able to, the vast majority of people in this country who file their taxes should be able to be like, okay, set up something really like, okay, well, this person and this person hook their social security numbers together because they're married filing jointly. Okay? And so then it couples all then, oh, we have these are our dependents, and list the dependents. Boom. Carry over from year to year. And then all you should need to do for taxes is log into a government website, not H&R Block, not Tax Act, not any other website, Jackson Hewitt, or any other tax preparer. You should just be able to go to the government website, go to irs.gov. You should be able to put in your login information. You should be able to access your tax information and look it over and just have it say, okay, do you have this job? Do you have this job? We have these on record. These are all of your taxable stuff. We don't have anything else on record for you. Do you have anything else to add, or is this your complete filing of taxes? And then you say, if it's complete, I don't need to add anything else. Then you do. If it's not complete, you do whatever steps it might take. And maybe if it's not complete at that point, maybe you need to hire a tax preparer if you need a little extra on top of what they give. But the basic person should not need to do all this work, should not have to file. Now, some places, it used to be that Intuit or Quicken or whatever their taxes are, they used to do the free file, where you could just put all the information in for free and they would file it for you. They don't do it, and they don't do this year because I help my mother-in-law do her taxes every year, and it's easy for me to do it. I mean, there's maybe an ethnic joke there because of my religion, but I help her with her taxes, and it's done for free every year, and it's very easily done. And I can do it for free, get all the information out there that we need. She files her taxes, and we're done with it, and that's all there is. So, there was one time, I think, when I filed taxes, and I neglected to put something into the taxes, and they ended up sending me a bigger refund because they had the information there already. So what if they already had the information, why did they need me to file it again? There should be no reason to. For the vast majority of people, we should be able to simply go on a website, just double check the data that they should already have for us, and just verify this is correct, file. This is incorrect. Here's and then update it either by themselves or with some. Well, let's say you have an LLC, like Liberal Dan is an LLC. So let's say Liberal Dan takes in money as the LLC. There's a TIN number for Liberal Dan. So let's say I have to report the Liberal Dan stuff as earnings. All right, or let's say other places report Liberal Dan earnings for me because maybe they're required to do so. So they report Liberal Dan earnings, and maybe I need to, maybe I have to put expenses with it, and then I say, okay, well, here's the earnings and expenses for Liberal Dan. Here are the owners of the Liberal Dan LLC that's getting passed through and what percentage that they owe it. Boom. Done. That's it. It should be easy. Hook it into my social security number. Boom. That's the ownership. Boom. That's how you do it. Should be simple. Most people shouldn't. You shouldn't even have to worry about going to H&R Block. Now, of course, the reason why, I'm sure there are plenty of advocates on the part of the tax preparers that say, "Hey, we want to be able to get paid for all this, so pay us money to do this free tax filing, and we'll handle it for you and we'll cover it." And they don't have to do any work. I mean, they have to do the work to create the website, but they don't have to do excess work once that's done. So, I mean, they have to make changes every year, sure, and then they figure out, okay, well, we have this many people who we can anticipate use our website, use our services for free. We're gonna get this back so we can publish this much. But you shouldn't even have to worry about it. You should just be, if you're a free filer, you should just be able to go to the IRS website and say, yeah, this is fine, this is correct, these are my information. And even if they don't want to do that for you, you should still be able to just go to the IRS website and be like, this, done. You know, if your taxes are simple, you should just be able to fill in a couple of entries on their form. These are my kids. These are this. These are that. These are their ages. This is our income. End of story. End of story. That's what it should be. But it's not, because they have to make it more difficult than it is. Now, there's also the conversations of, you know, what our tax rates should be. You know, should we have different higher tax rates? Should we have a different tax system? You know, those are all discussions that can be had as well. You know, when citizens are able to get, you know, earned income tax credit because they don't make enough money, but even though they are working full time, or if they're, you know, they're getting other government benefits because their employer doesn't pay them enough, well, guess what? That's a subsidy to those businesses. Those businesses should have to pay more money in taxes to cover the fact that they're being subsidized. Their profits are being subsidized. But that's might be a whole topic for another show. But, you know, I've seen other people mention the fact that it's ridiculous that we have to file tax. They have the information. Why can't we just, for the vast majority of people? Now, look, I'm sure if you're working on Wall Street and you have tons of investments, or you own lots of big companies, I'm sure that those people will probably not be able to utilize a free thing that the IRS gives for the peons, for us peons that don't have all that stuff. And again, that's fine. The tax preparers can be there for the people who have complicated tax issues, but we shouldn't need them if we have simple taxes to file. And there should not be any necessity to have them, and that we have them shows that this tax system is overly complicated. I mean, the tax code in and of itself can be complicated as you want it to be, but there should be a very simple to use GUI that you could sit there from home or from a library or from whatever and say, hey, this is my information that y'all already have. I don't have any more information to add. File the taxes. Don't include any minimum. Don't include H&R Block. Don't include Tax Act. Don't include any of the other people. Just, here are my taxes. Here's my tax information. Oh, my tax information you already have about me looks correct. File. Done. And maybe in my situation but if they add something like let's say the government adds in a special, you know, thing that allows you to spread out a 401k disbursement without penalty over 3 years, and allows you also to repay it back at some point, that should all be programmed into the site. Oh, you took out a PPP loan during the pandemic. Okay, good. Well, we don't need to worry about that because it's not tax exempt. Oh, you took a COVID disbursement. That is not tax exempt. You have to pay taxes on that. Put in the taxes that got withheld, put in the amount that was dispersed. Here, put out the amount that you're going to take over 3 years. There you go. Oh, did you pay something back this year? Cool. What did you pay back? Oh, that's how much? Awesome. Now you're going to be compensated for the fact that you have you're getting your money back, and now you're going to get income, or get more taxes back this year. Shouldn't have to do an extra form. There shouldn't be a need to have H&R Block saying, oh, well, we're going to charge you $90 extra bucks. It should be something that's already programmed into a federal site that you can use. That you could be able to just punch in your information, be like, oh, we see that you took out a 401k disbursement in 2020. Did you pay it back this year? No? Okay, well, here's the amount of money that's adding to your adjusted gross income. Mazel tov. It's done. No need to have $90 extra paid to H&R Block. No need to have extra money paid to anybody else. It's not that complicated. It took me 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes included the time it took me to read the instructions for the lines. And I had to read the grid twice because the first little mapping or whatever, I went the wrong way on it, and I read it wrong, and next time I read it, I'm like, oh, that's what they mean. Okay, good, I can use this form. Here's what I do. You put the information on these lines. Okay, then at the end of the day, you put this information on line 5A, and now you do more math. And math might not be some people's strong suit, but it's, again, if it's all online on the IRS website, you shouldn't need to worry about the math anyway, because they should be doing it for you. I'm very much getting rid of these, because this is what happens. Like, again, like you have bait and switch. Like, you know, they want you to use their services 1 year. They hook you in and make it easier for you to file next year. Oh, but we're not going to do free file this year. So if you want to file with us this year, you're going to have to pay a fee. Well, they did free file last year. They're going to be like, well, we think that by not doing free file, we'll get more money by people using our services than by doing free file. I'm sure that's what they thought. Fortunately for my mother-in-law, I was able to navigate the system and find a different website that allowed her to do her free file for free. No, well, maybe like $2 for the credit card surcharge or whatever it charged. But again, they bait and switched her too. Not as bad as one thing H&R Block baited and switched me, because H&R Block was like, oh, here's this new complicated thing that it's gonna be included in your price this year. Oh, next year we're not including it in the price, or you need to pay $90. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. I would play this if my mouse would go.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. Lots of stuff to us to talk about. We'll get to like all the other stuff like Ukraine and COVID, the COVID mask mandates in across the country for transportation is extended through, I guess, May 5th, perhaps. But things are settling down with all the restrictions. Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass when it comes to lots of things. I mean, Russia still has a huge army. Russia's still grabbing a foothold of eastern Ukraine, which maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they wanted to distract people at Kyiv in order to get them, hey, we really want this one. We really want this land bridge to be able to have access to this port. Maybe that's what they did. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out. That we'll learn after everything's over. Perhaps if they do get what they want, what they really wanted, or what they were willing to settle for. But to me, Ukraine probably is not going to want to settle for anything. This is an illegal invasion, and we as a whole world should basically say, get the hell out of Ukraine. You do not have the rights to be in Ukraine. Stop it, and stop it now. So anyway, let's just go ahead and we're going to end the show. We're going to only make it a 1 hour show this week. I did a little rants on taxes and why things shouldn't be the way that they are. But again, this is the end of this week's episode, Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. We will be back next week, 8 p.m. Central, blogtalkradio.com/liberaldan, or here on YouTube, youtube.com/liberaldanradio. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at liberaldanradio, facebook.com/liberaldan, on Liberal Dan Radio and TikTok as well. Support the show, patreon.com/liberaldan, or just remember to smash the like button here once you've gotten to this point, and subscribe to the channel to help out as well. Until next week, this is Dan Zimmerman with Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.